American Graduate Getting to Work is made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Hello, I'm Suzanne Smith with WFSU Public Media. Tonight, we continue our American Graduate What's Next panel discussions about career and technical education. In tonight's live program, we look at ways businesses are connecting to potential employees through CTE programs and ways potential employees can do the same. Joining me tonight is Kim Kelling, Director of Content and Community Partnerships here at WFSU Public Media. Also here is Willie Williams. He works for HR and Workforce Development with the City of Tallahassee. He also runs the Tallahassee Future Leaders Academy with the city. Elgin Rhymes is a participant in the Tallahassee Future Leaders Academy, and that is with the city as well. And then joining him is Henry Gaynor, Assistant General Manager with Energy Supply for the City of Tallahassee. Next to him is Melissa Anderson, who is currently working as an apprentice control room operator for the City of Tallahassee. Zach Dunlap joins us as well. He is Director of Business Development with the company Inspired Technologies. And on the far end, we've got Richard Ted Norman, State Director of Apprenticeship with the Florida Department of Education. Thank you all for being here today. This program is live on Thursday, February 22nd on WFSU TV and at WFSU Media on Facebook. We ask that you share your questions on Facebook Live or tweet us using the hashtag WFSUAmgrad. You can also email your questions to amgrad@wfsu.org.
Wow. We have a great group of people here tonight. I'm excited about this conversation. So we've been looking at career and tech education from lots of angles, but tonight really the focus is on business side of things. And so I'm going to start with you, Zach. I want you to tell me a little bit about your company. You're in the IT field, and what the challenges have been for getting skilled workers.
So a little bit about Inspired Technologies. We were founded in 2002 in Wakulla County. It started out with 2 employees, 2 of the original founders that are still with the company today. And from there, we've grown over the years. Now we're based in Tallahassee, and we do IT support ranging from law enforcement IT support, county municipality IT support. We do, in the cellular world, we do a lot of the LTE communication support for T-Mobile, Sprint, AT&T, as well as fiber installation for CenturyLink. And we're in almost 28 states doing projects, so the need for a talent pool and talent pipeline for us is very important.
And has it been hard to get that talent pool?
It has. We've in the past we just kind of always found people that we liked or that interviewed with us. But what we've found now is that we're going to have to grow this talent. We can't self-sustain any more of a growth pattern until we develop that talent pipeline. So with working with TCC, Florida State, FAMU, Lively Technical College, and just letting them know what our needs are. And we're kind of new to this whole apprenticeship idea, and so we're really interested in exploring that and developing that. So it's been a challenge, but it's something that we understand as a company we have to address that need before we can move forward.
So your company then will hire people who go through TCC Workforce Development and maybe get a certificate. Exactly. To those who get a degree.
Exactly. So there's really a flavor for everything inside of our company, from blue collar to white collar to what we call gray collar, which is kind of a combination of in between. So the technical skills that we're looking for range from entry level to very advanced systems administrators, cloud architects. It's a little bit of everything.
Great. Well, Henry, so I know you have had a very established apprenticeship program at the city. Correct. For a while. Will you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we actually started our program in the late 80s because we saw a need to develop a skilled workforce, but we only certified the program with the state of Florida starting in 2013.
And what made you get it certified? Like, what was the value to do that?
That's a lot of the value of it is for our employee. Our employee different than other utility in the business is that they have a certification that say they are a certified control room operator. So that's a lot of value there.
Okay. And Melissa, we got to get to you because you're a woman who found out by just going on to the Tallahassee City website and learned about this program. What inspired you to apply?
Sure. Yeah, both my parents actually come from a plant background. My dad was an electrical engineer. My mom actually worked in a lab. So I was interested in it from a while back. So yeah, I went online, and the City of Tallahassee offers great benefits, great retirement as well. And then the more that I spoke with a lot of the people that were interviewing me and more about the program, it was really something that I thought that I would enjoy doing. So I just dove right in.
And has that proved to be the case? Have you enjoyed it?
Oh, sure. Every day is different at a power plant. There's no 2 days that are the same. And we've got a great training analyst, Ben Ray. He's actually done a lot with the program more recently. And we do a lot of online tutorials, stuff like that, but also hands-on training. Because as much as you can look at a pump or a valve on a computer screen or on a piece of paper, you need to actually go out there and be able to touch and feel and see the vibrations, see if it's hot, if oil levels are low. So there's a lot of hands-on training that goes in the program as well.
And are there many other women in the program?
Currently, me and one other woman are in the program. So we're trying to hold strong for all the women.
Before we go on, I'd like to know, is it a 5-day-a-week program? Is it Monday through Friday? How does that normally,
It
the
actually
regular hours?
isn't. We do 4 days on, 4 days off. It's 2 day shifts, 5 a.m. to 5 p.m., and then 2 night shifts, 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. And I remember when I was interviewing for the position, there was a whole panel, and I said, when do you get used to the shift work? And they said, we still haven't got used to the shift work. So, but I enjoy it. I like the shift work, so it's not for everybody, but I enjoy it.
So Ted, hearing about the sort of the range here from Zach, who's interested in possibly starting an apprenticeship program, to one that's been established for a while, from the state perspective, what's the value of these apprenticeship programs?
Well, the value of having an apprenticeship program is you are, as witnessed here, is you're growing your own. Apprenticeship is an employer-driven educational process. We at the department help facilitate that structure, the structure of what we call the related technical instruction component, a on-the-job hands-on component, and then the wage scale, which is given to the apprentices as they iterate through the apprenticeship program, and then finally a nationally recognized credential. So the value add to an organization like the Tallahassee Utilities is they're taking individuals and they're growing their own talent, and they're ensuring a pipeline of quality talent. And one of the things that a lot of people don't talk about in the world of an apprenticeship for companies and organizations is to maintain what we call that tribal knowledge, maintaining internal knowledge of the culture within the company. So as the aging workforce starts leaving, or people leave an organization, there's not this huge ramp up of trying to move people into as they move up into the organization. For Zach and his organization, what the state can do is provide technical assistance, help them with developing their program, work with their industry in finding the industry standards, if you want to say. Every industry has fundamentals. I come from the telecommunications industry. There are fundamentals that traverse time. And so we build on those fundamentals, and we apply them from national standards. So when the apprenticeship certificate is issued by the Department of Education, that is nationally recognized by, obviously, the Department of Education, but also through the U.S. Department of Labor.
Wow.
So we fill and help them maintain and help with them with their program as they morph and as standards change and as the industry change. They just tell us, and we help guide them. And then for the Zach's and for his companies of the world, it's helping them get over that hump of, well, how do we do this? What is apprenticeship? How, is it what's our role in this? What's the role of the state? What's the role of education? And so our job is to kind of like be that middle person to bring everybody together, to work together, to help them meet their HR and their human resource needs.
And I want to make a point, because you brought it up, Henry and Melissa. It's a full paid with benefits. So talk a little bit about that, Henry.
Yeah, really, our apprentice program, unlike other apprentice program, it's a full paid position with full benefits, and the employee enjoy all the vacation. It's a higher employee.
And how many apprenticeships do you have currently?
I currently have 12, but for the City of Tallahassee, we have a total of 38, 22 in power delivery, 12 in energy supplies, and 4 in system operation. And we can potentially have 12 more in gas operation here very shortly.
That's and Melissa, you were saying earlier that you go through every 6 months like an evaluation.
Right. My program is a 5-year program, excuse me, and every 6 months I get a new set of objectives to meet. There's new things that I learn, and they add on to the previous step. So there's 10 steps, and every 6 months I take a board, usually with the plant manager, 2 shift supervisors, and our training analyst. And they determine if I have passed the board or not, and that my knowledge is where it's supposed to be as far as where I'm going. And then that's another great thing about the city apprenticeship is I get an incentive every 6 months. I get a pay increase. So that's really great to have.
And where are you in the 5 years?
I am on my 3rd step, so I'm a year and a half in.
Okay. All right. So Zach, you ready? You signed up? You starting an apprenticeship program now?
Yes.
Well,
she make it sound really easy, but the board review is quite tough because we're deliberately trying to stump her, keep on asking technical questions to ensure that she got the right kind of information and she have the right kind of knowledge and skill.
that's great. I mean, and which goes back to your point, Ted, is that this is nationally recognized.
That's
so
correct.
Melissa can go to another power company somewhere else and be.
I don't think he'd be happy about that, but yeah, you're absolutely right.
Sorry.
No, but one of the.
It's true.
Well, but here's the other side: is that does happen, and that we live in a right to work state and things like that. But here's the thing: even if Melissa were to leave, she leaves with a set of credentials that his organization knows that there's a quality operator out there that knows how to do things from a safety point of view, from an operational point of view. Though, yeah, it's sad, but that's the reality of our state. But one of the things about apprenticeship is that it is, because I said earlier it's an employer-driven, it is an employer designed program. Apprenticeship, a registered apprenticeship program can be as little as a year up to, in some cases, we have some programs that are 6 years long, and that's because of the occupation, not because it's a force by the department or anything. So, like in Zach's case, where he may be interested in an IT-related apprenticeship process, we can go through apprenticeship program in about a year, utilizing industry certifications as a lattice, if you want to say. So as the individual iterates through at their own pace, what we call a competency-based program, so each individual goes through the apprenticeship program at their own pace. So he's able to make a determination, okay, this person here needs a little bit of help, and it might take them a little bit longer to get to this level, but there's another person over here that they have no problem with it, and they rip right through that training. And then, so it's customizable. And a lot of people seem to think that apprenticeship is a very rigid 4 years, drudgery, and it's only for the construction trades, and that is a myth. And my job as the state director is to kind of push that it's not. It is just about every single occupation can be apprenticeable in our state.
That's good to know. Well, that's perfect segue because we, as part of this project that we're working on, we are required accountability. So we do a survey recently we had about 175 responses, and the question was, top 2 reasons you believe high school graduates have trouble securing gainful employment. And this is what they said. 1, lack of guidance for career pathway, knowing what to do, and the other, a lack of soft skills. So this, to me, is a nice segue into talking to Willie and to Elgin about the Future Leaders Academy, because really, that's what you're doing, is you're exposing young people to different career opportunities and learning those important soft skills. So tell me a little bit about the TFLA program.
Absolutely, Kim, and thank you. The Tallahassee Future Leaders Academy is for youth students that are ages 15 to 19 years old, have completed the 10th grade, reside within the city of Tallahassee, and have not started their college years. And this program, we're going into our 5th year. Now, the Tallahassee Future Leaders Academy is the City of Tallahassee's employment program that was about 6 weeks long, where youth were placed within different departments within the City of Tallahassee. What happened was we looked at this program and said, well, how can we build a program so that it can be more of impact to the youth and help them to gain transferable skills? So we added 2 weeks onto this program, making it a complete 8-week-long program during the summertime, starting in June, ending in July.
And it's a paid program.
It is a paid program, right. So the first 2 weeks of the program, the youth will go through job readiness classes where they'll do professional development workshops. They'll have the opportunity to gain certifications in customer service, safe staff, CPR, AED, and then we also have some city employees who train them in OSHA training as well. There are also what we added about 2 years ago was a partnership, an innovative partnership with the universities, where now we take the entire group of 200 youth or more to the campuses of Florida A&M, Florida State, Tallahassee Community College, and Lively, and they spend 1 day on each of those campuses, and they're exposed to the college atmosphere. They even have the opportunity to eat in the campus calves, which we all definitely enjoy. Thank you to all those universities for that opportunity. So after they've completed those 2 weeks, all of the youth then start their 6 weeks of employment. And when the program first started, we had 55 youth who were in the program that were placed within different departments within the city. In order to grow that, we had to think innovatively. How do we bring more youth into this program? And what we did was reached out to our local business partners, and we were able to expand this program to 240 last summer.
That's a lot.
Wow.
240 students.
Yes, 240.
And what's the requirement age-wise? Is it
15 to 19 years old.
15 to 19? Okay.
Correct. So once they start the 6 weeks, we match them with different jobs. They'll either be placed within a department within the city, local business in the city of Tallahassee, or a nonprofit, and then they begin to work 6 weeks uninterrupted.
So Elgin, you participated 2 years in a row in this program, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And where did they place you? Where did you work?
My first year, I participated in underground utilities, where I worked in.
Did you know Mr. Gaynor there?
I did not, unfortunately. I wish I did. More business connections as I move forward in life. And I've also worked in Florida State, Black State Legislator.
So what was your takeaway from these summers?
Oh, they were marvelous. They taught me the importance of personal branding. And
Personal branding.
Can you
Yes,
explain
ma'am.
what that is to us?
Oh, personal branding, essentially what we always been explained by Dr. Willie is how you present yourself in a professional environment. What's the first impression that you want to be seen as? Like, do you want to be seen as a slacker, or do you want to see it as a hard worker? You want to see as somebody who is ready to make a change, or seen as somebody who wants to be average. Essentially, personal branding is just what you want to be and how you want to be seen as. And back to the question of what my experience was, it was phenomenal. It taught me skills that I wouldn't have otherwise learned if I haven't joined the program, and PeopleSoft skills and certifications. It taught me how to build business connections that are going to last me throughout the rest of my life and career as I transition from high school into college. It taught me how to be a leader, essentially, which is the biggest takeaway, is to be a leader is to lead in your community, lead in your workspace, lead when nobody's watching, and to overall be
Lead when
successful.
no one's watching. That's a really wise statement, Elgin.
Yes, ma'am.
It takes some people a long time to learn that. All of us adults could probably concur with that. So what's next? You're a senior at McClay, and what's next?
It's college for me. College and into the real business world, and hopefully to obtain an apprenticeship at one of these pharma companies.
There you go. I love it. Well, we have a video we want to show of a past TFLA participant who happened to be at WFSU, because we love participating in this program. So we're going to show you that.
Okay. Yep. Mike, it's back there.
I'm working with WFSU, and my responsibilities are assessments, and we go to different schools and we assess the kids to see if they know they can recognize letters and words, and they can read sentences. Today we have an event with our Sci Girls camp called Water Moves, and it's to basically teach them about complex systems. My experience working with the WFSU has been really good. It's a good first job for me, because I like working with kids, and you can be creative and stuff like that.
Azaria's been fantastic. We're so lucky to have her. She's been enthusiastic. She's a great listener, but she's also terrific with the kids that we work with. And she's just become part of the team. We're going to miss her when she goes. I can't believe that time's coming up so quickly. Education's always busy, and summer's our busiest time. So really a program that involves a young person hands-on with the education department is our best bet. I hope the program continues for many years to come. I think it's fantastic, and the more young people we can expose to actual careers, especially ones that are a little bit off the beaten path, the better it is for their future.
I would suggest being a part of TFLA, because it's a really great opportunity to get a job, earn some money, and you learn a bunch of stuff that'll help you along in your future.
And you can find more about this program at talgov.com/TFLA, and that's where you can find more about this program that Willie is running and that Elgin has been a part of. And we've just got so much to talk about. It's hard to believe we've gone so much
how
far.
many students to date have gone through this program?
As of today's date, going into our 5th year, we've had over 600 youth who went through the program. We've earned, the youth have earned over 1,086 professional certifications that they are able to add to their resume and transfer to different jobs. And that's what actually opened the door for a lot of them to be working full time today. They are currently, a lot that are currently working past the summer program. And when we talk about developing the workforce, as we've heard so many times, that's what this opportunity does for a lot of those youth. It gives them the opportunity to learn development, to learn the soft skills, and most of all, it exposes them to 2 different tracks: the track to go to college, or the track to go into employment, into the workforce. So that's basically what we aim to do.
I love it. I love it. And that segues perfectly, because I want to look at, we have a graph showing TCC workforce development and the different IT certifications they have. So, Zach, hearing about these students, could some of them get some of those certifications and be employable to you?
Actually, all of them. With the exception of a mobile developer, we partner with a company here locally in Tallahassee, App Innovators, which just recently changed their name to the 223 Agency, and they tend to, anybody that says, I'm into app development, great, call Dustin Rivest and Jim Hunt. They'd love to have you and interview you. But what we've seen from TCC and some of the CompTIA courses fully blends into our tiered program inside our company, where we bring in people in entry-level positions and then they grow through industry certifications. So they might start out at entry level and then to tier 1, then to tier 2, and then to tier 3. And it's a kind of a self-paced program, and we actually incentivize our employees by paying for those courses so that they can continue, growing within our own company.
Right. So that's an investment you make.
Yes.
So had you heard about the TFLA program?
Not until now, and now I'm very interested in it and getting involved with some of the students, because it sounds like exactly what we're looking for within our company. High aptitude, good attitude, good work ethic, and we can train. I
can tell you we've had 3 students go through here at WFSU, and all 3 of them were wonderful. One is now, you saw her, she's at FSU. Another one is, I don't know where he went, but last year, Brenda, she spoke Swahili, and she gets hired all the time to do translations now, and she's at TCC. So it's just been amazing where these kids go, and providing them, one of the main things that we hear is kids just don't know all of their options. We don't do a good enough job in our schools to help kids know those things. It's like college prep, oh yeah, maybe a little bit of job stuff. So helping get that word out is critical, which then one of the programs that I started with Commissioner Lindley was LeonWorks. Okay. And I think you've all heard of that. It's where businesses come together and students across the district, and I think beyond Leon County, can come in and learn about job opportunities within our community. So we have a video that we're going to show about LeonWorks, and then we can talk a little bit about that model.
We have had a wonderful morning. The parking lot is full of all kinds of heavy equipment, the EMS, the fire trucks, all this stuff.
Oh, I never know what's going to happen.
And we have exhibitors inside that are telling the students what it takes to get into careers you might love.
We brought 50 seniors. Those are the kids that we want to focus on thinking about. What are you going to do next? A lot of them have an idea, but we wanted them to come actually see what their future might look like.
It's how much training does it take, how long does it take, how much does it cost, what kind of certification, real practical skills, but also I think everybody's just really pumped up to know, there's so much possibility.
All right, thank you much. Thank you very much.
I want to work in the labor and delivery department.
I want to get a business degree. I want to be working for myself.
They showed me how to use the tools and stuff at welding, and then they told me how much money they made. So I said, yeah, I'll do that.
Just for them to widen their horizon and start thinking, kind of outside of the box. For a lot of them, they think, well, I want to work in a hospital, but what does that entail? How many different careers are there in the hospital?
I talk to the EMS people, and I talk to the EMT people, I talk to LPNs, I learned how to do CPR on a baby, and the real human mannequin. Yeah, it makes me feel more excited to do it, because now I have people that will help me along the way to do it. I met a lot of nice people, and they gave me their phone numbers, and they encouraging me and stuff.
I did tell her that it's a wonderful opportunity right now because nurses are in high demand. We talk to a lot of businesses that need nurses, that need LPNs, that need medical assistants. So that career is growing, and I just wanted her to come by and talk to us about the labor market so she can see a total picture of the type of money that she can make once she finishes school. Then we have counselors there that can talk to her about the type of schooling that she does have to have in order to become a registered nurse, the time frame involved, and what's the likelihood that she'll get the position that she's looking for.
There's so many jobs in the health field. There's so many wonderful things that require technical training and expertise and passion and commitment. But they're also interesting jobs. We keep hearing about them. There's a shortage of draftsmen or draftswomen in the world of construction and building. I mean, it's design, it's creative, and that's something very cool. Who knew there was a shortage of that?
Our jobs range from basic drafting with a CAD system to program a CNC machine to cut out parts to maintaining that machine. They'll also learn hand skills when it comes to assembling products that we make.
There's a shortage of welders, people who do everything from the decorative gates and fences that you see and at libraries and in homes to the hard knocks construction stuff that requires skilled welding abilities.
Yeah, I'm welding now. The booth over there, if you want to go get information on it. This is a pretty fun class. It's difficult.
Right now, the welding industry is busting at the seams. For instance, here, we sent 4 out last year to Aiken, South Carolina to a nuclear power plant, which is very hard to do right out of school. We had an 18-year-old gentleman in the class by the name of Michael Johnson, and he's making somewhere in the range of $30 an hour starting salary.
We had other kids that are really excited about doing some ride-alongs with the Sheriff's Department. A lot of kids, coming up thinking, well, I thought I wanted to do this, but then I found out about this career opportunity.
Yeah, for like a backup plan, I think I might get my CDL so I can I just want to see different things so I can travel to states and countries and stuff. So that's a backup plan, but business still my number one primary plan.
Well, this business thing I went to, this guy said it's pretty easy to get a job to start off in training and they make a lot of money, more than I thought. So I'm gonna try to get that.
So many people get out of college, they have a degree, a lot of debt, and they can't find a job. But there are jobs that are hungry. There are careers that are hungry for people. So there's a lot of hope and a lot of possibility.
All right, so the next LeonWorks Career Expo is coming up on Friday, March 8th. That's from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. They are at the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center this year. They have outgrown their spot at Lively, and you can learn more at leonworksexpo.com. And they outgrew their spot there. And we're going to be talking more about LeonWorks in a second, but I just want to remind everybody you can send questions to us by going to WFSU Media on Facebook, and you can hashtag us at WFSU AmGrad on both Facebook and Twitter. amgrad@wfsu.org is the email you can send us questions to that we will hopefully get to answer here during our conversation. Okay, so now let's get back to the LeonWorks topic.
So how many of you knew about LeonWorks? All right, good. Zach, have you participated in it?
This is actually our first year participating in it, and surprise, we're sponsoring the mobile app.
Great.
So we're hoping to get some good feedback from the high school students in our area to see, engage, what their interests are, what they've heard about technology in our area, and kind of educate them a little bit. And I think one of the things that we haven't done and a lot of businesses don't do is, really talk about the opportunities that are here in Leon County, that you don't have to leave Tallahassee to get a high-paying job. Mm-hmm. Entry-level positions with our company start out at $35,000 a year and go up into the six figures, and some of those employees did that in a very short amount of time. So just letting them know that there are options available really helps them decide on, okay, what career path do I want to go into? Do I want to go to college? Do I want to go to a technical school? Do I want to just jump into the workforce and start, career educational training? So I think it's invaluable for us and as well as other businesses to get involved with LeonWorks.
So Ted, do you have any sense of how many businesses that might participate in that actually offer apprenticeship programs?
Not enough. How's that? We would love to partner with as many organizations as possible in this market area. We're very, very excited about Governor DeSantis's, some of his, bold initiatives and vision for career pathways in education, and one of those components is apprenticeship, and having the I guess the push to challenge over 1,000, companies to partner with their educational partners in their communities to do something like this, like with the LeonWorks. And this is where education companies come together. Apprenticeship is a great way for that glue, that bridge for those individuals that are looking for that career path. So we're very, very excited to have, around the state over 226 apprenticeship programs with over 4,500 participating employers. And so, events like this are great ways to bolster and to meet some of those nice, bold expectations that the governor has laid out for us.
Yeah,
yeah,
it is. So, Elgin, when you're hearing all of this, have you ever gone to the LeonWorks? Have you participated in that?
Fun story about that. When I first came to Tallahassee, Florida, my mom had an interview at TCC. And when the day she came on that date was when they had it. And so my first interaction with it was when I was in 8th grade. So I didn't really know what it was. I just kind of came and just saw a bunch of overwhelming people asking questions like, oh, where do you want to work? What do you want to do? And I was kind of confused because, being 8th grade, you didn't really know, I still got high school to do. So,
but there's talk. I mean, this is the thing that has come up a lot, is that we need to start earlier, that we need to be introducing the concept of career pathways in middle school and in just planting seeds so that students have ideas of different things they can do.
When you were in 8th grade and you were seeing this, what was the coolest thing you thought that day?
That could be my future. That all these wonderful jobs, engineering, nursing, doctors, firefighters, I was like, wow, I could actually go out and do all these opportunities that weren't previously presented to me until now. And that's why I like the program. I like the Tallahassee Future Leadership Academy. I've learned plenty of certifications from CPR, Microsoft Office, PowerPoint, Photoshop, Adobe, all those certifications that I now know that I'm glad that I got the opportunity to be a part of, and that I can carry those qualities and skills over into the college lives to where I can get the apprenticeships and can apply to lead a successful career coming straight out of school.
What did you want to do when you were in 8th grade, before all this? When you were in middle school, what did you think you wanted to be?
Football player.
Yeah. Well, and that's very common because that's like a known thing, It's like it's on TV. When we go to a lot of schools, we hear kids want to go into, CSI because they watch those shows on TV. And, that's great, but there's lots of other career pathways. They might not have a TV show that highlights them. We have another survey, if we can pull up.
I think we can.
Because I think this one reinforces exactly what we've been talking about. And this one the question was, is it important for businesses to provide internships and apprenticeships to help prepare young adults for careers? And collectively, 98.7% agree or strongly agree.
Yeah.
So our society is saying, yes, this is important. We need apprenticeship programs. We need internship opportunities. And that's what all of you are doing. So how did we get away from that? Did we get away from apprenticeships, Ted?
I think there's a lot of philosophies that go along with that, and there's so many external situations where there was a movement and that says that the only way to become successful in this country is with a college degree, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think every individual, every young person in our state should have the opportunity to choose a career path that is best for them. I'm a living example of that choice issue is I didn't go to college until I was 40. Now, I didn't say go back to college. I didn't go to college until I was 40. And so I went into the workforce originally because I wasn't mature. I didn't have the skill sets that maybe Dr. Williams is giving these young men and women, that they're not mature for scholarly work. And so henceforth they become disenfranchised and things of that nature. But the push has been, the mantra has been, in order to become successful. There's also the issue surrounding apprenticeship, that it is quote unquote only for union, and it is not true. Apprenticeship is in simple terms, of taking a skill set and showing somebody else below you that same skill set. And so whether you're an attorney or whether you're a welder, the same process is just different career. The question comes is, how does an individual in high school know about these options? And it kind of goes also to a parent issue. Parents are extremely influential of their children. If a high school student, especially a senior, and maybe even a junior to some extent, if they had an idea of exactly what they wanted to do and everything was all set, meaning they got a college scholarship or they've got a good job, they know they're going into the military, they're going to serve our country, there seems to be, as a parent, a sense of security. Okay, I've done my job. I know what my son or my daughter is going to do. And so when we get away from, there's only two choices, college or the military, and so apprenticeship and going into the workforce has changed in that sense. Also, there was a movement to move away from career and technical education, quote unquote shop classes. Nobody's building birdhouses anymore or making trays anymore. Career and technical education programs throughout this state are extremely robust. They have to align with business and industry. In my prior role with the Department of Education as state supervisor over the manufacturing and transportation and engineering programs, we're required by law to review and revise the educational standards every 3 years. So we're constantly in line with what business wants, and that's that connection that we need. So it's there. The challenge is getting the word out.
So that's what we're doing tonight.
And this is the start of it, and I'm glad to be here, honored to be here, part of this is great eclectic group. And I know I'm long-winded to your question. Yeah, long-winded to your question because it's very dynamic. It's a family by family by family decision. There's no one mold that fits in, because what fits with one family is not going to fit with another family. The goal here is to here's the cafeteria.
There's a menu
Go
of choices.
through, find out, he's giving opportunities, Dr. Williams is showing here's where things could be, utilizing LeonWorks. You're a perfect example of, I don't know what I wanted, but this was really cool. I could see I could do this. That may not necessarily be the job that you want, but you saw possibilities and you saw options.
Well, and sometimes you learn what you don't want, which is also important.
Yes.
I want to get back to you, Melissa, because you had a career before you had a life before you entered into this apprenticeship program.
Right. Yeah, I actually went down to school in Fort Myers, and I got a degree in human performance. And I actually did some internships, and unfortunately they were towards the end of your degree when you do these internships. So you do all these classes and then you do the internship, and I found out that it was quite boring, that I thought it was. And it wasn't quite for me, but I was already at the end of the degree. So there's no taking back all that money. There's no saying, give me it back now. I like to try again. So I moved up here to Tallahassee. I've got family up here, and I knew that just this being a capital city, being a college here, being more diverse than where I've come from, there was just going to be more opportunities. So
that's great. And Henry, how many current employees are in your division that started as apprentices?
In my division, I have roughly a little bit less than 100 employees. The majority of our employees are, about half our employees are operators, and operators are typically coming through the
program.
The apprentice program, because power generation is quite a unique industrial business with a lot of specialized process and equipment. So really we just can't find that match skill set to meet our need, so we roll that skill set in-house.
Well, I hear we have a
Yes,
question.
we have a question from, I believe, from Facebook, and they're going to go ahead and put that graphic up. It's from Brad Smith, no relation to me. He said, can you tell us who people in his business work with on a daily basis and inspired? So, Zach, who do you work with on a daily basis? Who are your clients?
So our clients range from, dealing with mom and pop, law firms. One of the customers that we have is Crumb's Bait and Tackle
Well, what do you
in
do?
Panacea,
What do you
Florida.
specifically do for them?
For them, we do all of their IT computer support, so we support all their internal systems. One of the real industries that we focused on very heavily right now is our law enforcement. So we work with sheriffs from, Sheriff Deloach in Putnam County, Sheriff Smith in Bradford County, Sheriff Reed in Hamilton County, Gulf County with Sheriff Harrison, Sheriff Miller in Wakulla County, and Sheriff Hardin in Glades County. And we're growing that division rapidly.
Well, and then you get knowledge of how to set up these secure systems for very specialized workforces.
Exactly.
And that word of mouth, I'm sure, gets you more work.
Exactly. So people always brag about how good we are in our services and how we're just really dedicated and focused, and that just kind of spreads like wildfire. And we really like working in the law enforcement community because it's not just we're providing a service and we're getting paid for it, it's we're making a difference. We're keeping those systems running 24/7 so that those deputies and those officers can provide services to their community.
That's great. So I'm going to ask you, Willie, so you are in the process right now of recruiting for this summer, correct?
Correct. Applications open January 13th. They're closed March 15th. As of today, we've had about 242 applications, and we still have a month left of this application to be open. Which is extraordinary, especially for a summer program to have to open applications in January and February, where most parents don't start looking for things for their youth to do until May. So that's one of the extraordinary things that we have going on. This program, in leaning back on some of the things that were said already, when we look at 3 points about TFLA and exposure, that's what it's all about, right? The youth being exposed, but not only just exposed to the various jobs that are out there, but having the opportunity to actually apply what they're learning on these jobs and what these jobs consist of. And when it comes to employers, a lot of the employers that work with us, especially in the private businesses and the nonprofit section, for them, it's really a pride kind of thing, a pride in the city of Tallahassee and knowing that you're adding something to the professional development of Tallahassee. And most of our employers that work with us, the first thing they say is, I remember my first summer job. And this is why I want to be involved, because I know what it did for me. I know what it instilled in me. And when you look at that, you say, man, that's exactly why we do it. And that's that mentorship component that comes with this program, where they know they're dealing with youth who have that raw talent. And if you give them just a couple of minutes, we've seen youth who's been in this program now for 2 and 3 years, and you see the transformation. You see when they first came in year 1, and we say, hey, we need to be here at 8 o'clock, and you get some come in about 8:10. But now, after they've been in the program like Mr. Rhymes here for 2 and 3 years, when we say be here at 8 o'clock, they're like pulling up at 7:30, and we haven't even pulled out the sign-in sheets yet. And that's what we do, is we develop the standard that we're looking for as far as the quality of workers we want here in the city of Tallahassee.
Well, I want to just say there's a few other programs that do that in our community. There's Dynamic Futures with Career Source, and that's a great program that invests in young people 16 to 24. That program's here in Leon County, and they also have it in Gadsden County. So it's another great opportunity if people are looking for ways to get a job over the summer. They train you, and then they place you in a job.
And I believe we have a website for that, the Career Source capitalregion.com, I believe is what that is. And then there was another one that you were talking about, the
well, we have a couple scholarships.
That's right.
So there are two really interesting scholarships. One that I find really interesting. So here's CareerSource Capital Region website. So if you're interested in dynamic futures, if you're 16 to 24, you're looking for a way to get into the workforce, this is a great program to do that. The other one is this DAR. So DAR, anybody know what DAR is?
Daughters of the American Revolution.
Yes. Very good. You guys are my winners. So they have a scholarship for women who want to go into the trades. And the reason that they are offering this scholarship is that they see the need and they feel it's patriotic to invest in the future workforce. And because they're women, they want it to go to a woman. So if you're interested in the DAR award scholarship, you have to be sponsored by the local chapter, and then they'll put your name forward. But I love that these scholarships are coming out of very unusual places.
I think the next one that's interesting, and we have the website for this one, it's from Dunkin' Donuts. Kim, tell us about this one.
So Dunkin' Donuts, or now they like to be known as Dunkin', they are very much wanting to invest in Florida. So they are giving out 38 $1,000 scholarships to seniors in high school. So Elgin, you should apply. Tallahassee has really expanded its Dunkin' footprint. So I spoke to the regional owner of the Dunkins here, and he said, please push this out. We want to support Tallahassee youth going forward. So, $1,000 can help offset costs, books, things like that. It's a great, coming from a different source, another funding opportunity and it will pay for college, 4-year, 2-year, or certification program. So any of those. So I wanted to make sure that I made that point. So I love that our business leaders are thinking out of the box, not just the traditional 4 years. Believe me, I attended a 4-year university. I'm very proud of that. But we need, just as you were saying, Ted, to provide many pathways for youth to engage. And so finding these different ways is terrific.
Yeah. I do have a couple of questions before we wrap up. Elgin, for someone who's applying for the TFLA, what should they know, about the program before they go in? Yeah, and tips. How do they get in?
Well, it's always good to apply the knowledge that you have accumulated up to that point. Constantly always updating your resumes is, I would say, one of the top of the line tips. Always staying in good mentions with your teachers and those who know you best, because recommendations like that are little things that will help you out and get you the job that you will most want to be into once you start looking for a career. You also want to keep those grades up, because that's also a big deal. They want somebody with a good attitude, right mindset, and who is willing to work hard and to cooperate with a team, because that's essentially what you end up going to be doing. You're going to be working in an environment with different age groups, and especially people older than you. And so you want to get those skills to know how to work and how to comply with the work setting and how to dress, how to talk, and the whole 9 yards in terms of professionalism.
And Willie, do you have any final comments in the last few minutes of our thing about what students should know or employers should know?
And the employer pays for the student, correct?
Yes, the employer pays for the student during that 6 week, 20 hours minimum a week at minimum wage. And then the City of Tallahassee take care of doing the background checks, and then within that 2 weeks we'll do some professional development training with the youth themselves. I think we've already put the website up for the youth to apply. Definitely go out and apply.
Do you need more businesses to step up?
We need a lot more businesses. The program.
I know one here.
Well, that's great. I plan on linking up with them right after we stop, actually. But the size of the program is based on the employers that decide to come into this program. And the reason Tallahassee Future Leaders Academy won 3 national awards last year is because of the collaborations between our universities and the city and the nonprofits and the privates coming together and seeing that we needed to develop what we wanted to be, what we wanted to see in our youth. So that's please join talgov.com/TFLA. We have a youth button on there for the youth, and we have an employer button on there for the employees.
Thank you. Well, wrapping up our conversation, I want to remind people one more time that the date of the upcoming LeonWorks Expo, it will be this coming March 8th. That's a Friday. It will be at the Donald L. Tucker Civic Center from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. You can learn more at leonworksexpo.com. You can also learn more about WFSU's American Graduate Program from our website, gradstowork.wfsu.org. You can watch archives of our 2 previous What's Next panel discussions. The first one was on career and technical educational opportunities in our community, and the second was on ways people and organizations are breaking down the barriers to CTE. So we also plan more of these live American Graduate panels in the future. So stay up to date on all of our American Graduate programs, activities, events, and news by following us on Facebook and Twitter at WFSU Media. You can also use the hashtag WFSUAmGrad to let us know what you want to know about these topics. Also, feel free to share this program with parents, students, and others you think who can benefit from this information. I'd like to thank Willie Williams, Elgin, Elgin Rhymes, Henry Gaynor, Melissa Anderson, Zach Dunlap, and Ted Norman for being here today. For Kim Kelling, myself, and everyone at WFSU Public Media and American Graduate, have a great evening, everyone. Okay, that was a lot.
American Graduate Getting to Work is made possible by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting.